right, 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. It is time for In the Garden with Carol Ann. Carol Ann Baldwin is your hostess. If you'd like to call in and talk to Carol Ann, the number is 352-622-9622, and you can ask Carol Ann some questions that might make your garden a little bit better and maybe greener or redder if it's tomatoes. Again, the number 622-9622. Good morning, Carol Ann.
Good morning, Larry. How are you this morning?
Good. And this morning in the news, there was a story about the benefits, the health benefits of tomatoes.
And we all know tomatoes are just delicious. I mean, I love tomatoes.
They are.
I can't wait. I mean, the only thing I'm not crazy about when it comes to tomatoes is like tomato soup.
Oh, I like tomato soup.
So I'm not a tomato soup, but I like tomato sauce.
Do you like stewed tomatoes? Not really.
We used to have them as a kid. It's funny because grew up up north, and if you were having fish, it generally was accompanied by white rice and stewed tomatoes.
Yeah, that's what I remember too.
And see now that I'm in the South, that I'm in the South, your fish is accompanied by grits and sliced tomatoes.
Oh, that sounds good too.
So I just changed it just ever so slightly. But I mean, I guess I did. I mean, I like them, kind of mixed in with something else.
But I think
because that's why I like the tomatoes, okra, and corn. And then put that with rice and a little something, maybe some ham or something.
I know you're supposed to stay away from bread, but I like the tomato sandwich. Yeah,
white bread, mayonnaise, salt and pepper.
I know.
There you go. I mean, that's if you have nothing else. I mean, tomatoes are versatile. I like tomatoes on a toasted cheese sandwich. I like just sliced tomato with a meal as a vegetable, though it's a fruit.
How about fried green?
Fried green tomatoes too. Yeah, they're good. Sounds like we've got a cooking show going here instead. But hey, you too can grow tomatoes in your yard. At this point in the season, we're already into the middle of April. I don't know where this year has gone.
Where has it gone?
I mean, if you're gonna start now, you're either gonna start with some pretty decent sized tomato plants, or realizing that maybe the smaller tomatoes, the cherry type tomatoes, the small salad tomatoes, Roma tomatoes, might be the only ones that'll actually go through the summer or into our hotter months. There are some varieties out there that have been bred, so they're hybrids. They're bred for the heat. I'm actually trying one out this year, and it's got flowers on it right now. So
how about the BLT? I'm thinking
love
a
BLT. Love a good BLT. So somebody's needing breakfast, aren't they?
Sounds good.
Oh yeah, BLT. Yeah, love BLTs.
Are you a salt person?
Yes.
Me too.
Yeah, gotta put salt on the tomato sandwich. It brings out the flavor of the tomato.
All right, we got everybody hungry. The phone lines are lit. Oh, and you got some stuff to give away, so we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we do. But we'll take call first. Yeah.
Good morning. You're on with Carol Ann.
Yeah. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
I see the pick your blueberry signs are up along the highway.
Yeah. It's blueberry season.
Right. I threatened my wife that we'll go out one of these years and pick blueberries, but I guess they grow pretty low to the ground, right?
No. Actually, they're large shrubs. They're up to 6 feet high. Usually, most of the blueberry places. I've gone picking one time, probably 8 years ago, maybe, and it was fun. Yeah. It was fun.
At my age, it's kind of hard to bend over, but now that you've encouraged me a little bit, I could probably get by with probably picking a couple of bucketfuls, huh?
Yeah, and that's how they do. A lot of the places will have some already harvested that you'll pay for, and I think you pay a little less per the pound to pick your own. They give you the bucket size, or it might even be by the bucket. Depends on the farm, and you just sort of go through. They'll tell you the section to work on. That those ones are the ones that are going to have berries, and you don't actually just pluck them off the bush. You put your hand in there, and kind of like picking ripe grapes, they will come off in your hand if gently touched when they're ripe, and then you just put them into your bucket.
Like orange groves, to get the orange off the tree, they have like a machine that shakes the tree, right?
Yeah.
Now, all year round you see blueberries in the store, And what do they? They just don't have people that pick them, do they?
They probably do. Yeah, actually, they probably do. I mean, they may have some, a sheet on underground that maybe gently shake the shrub, but it is a shrub, so it has multiple stems. So I'm not sure how effective that would be, or if it is just somebody that goes through and that they just because they're a fragile fruit, they're going to bruise easily. I think they might probably be picked by hand. Even for commercial, because the season is short in each area. So as it moves up, starting here in Florida with early fruiting, and then going up probably up the whole country, wherever I know they grow blueberries throughout the Northeast. So I'm not sure about once you get into western states or anything, but that they just go through and hand pick.
Yeah, where do you think the blueberries come from in the wintertime? Like Mexico or?
I don't know if do you see fresh? I'm trying to think if we see fresh blueberries. It could be central, because the varieties we have here are hybrids that were crossed with the native blueberry that was found, because the northern varieties just don't do well for us. They need too many chill hours in order to bloom and set fruit correctly. So the ones we have, look around in the stores locally to buy your blueberry varieties.
Yeah. How long now do we have to pick them down here? Is it that lasts about a month or so?
A month, maybe 6 weeks. It's a short period. It really is. It's but get out there and pick some because they're easy. I mean, you can take them home, rinse them, dry them off some, lay them flat on a cookie sheet, throw that cookie sheet in the freezer till they get, till they get frozen, and then put them in a container. And that way it's easy to scoop some out in your smoothie, in your, just to eat, frozen. Throw some in with a little whipped cream.
Sounds good to me.
Oh, yeah. Little granola.
My all-time favorite blueberry pie is it's starting to sound pretty good. I think I might have to get out there this weekend and pick some blueberries.
So blueberry muffins, all that good things. Blueberry pancakes, and if you've got them already frozen, I mean, I've started buying the frozen fruit because I get into eating smoothies in the morning, and I know we're just it's gonna be time for lunch.
Do you have any idea where the blueberry farms are here in the Ocala area?
There's one. I know there's a couple down in Bellevue. I know there's in that Bellevue area. Out in the Ocala National Forest, there's some. There's a few of them around. I would have to probably just have to look up the Fresh from Florida.
Abshire Farms, is that one?
Yeah.
He came up on Google search. That's in Bellevue.
Right.
When they took the blueberries off this plant, now, do they have to cut the plant down for it to start over, or do they just leave it alone and it just makes more blueberries next year?
They do prune them after fruiting. They do have a time window for the best pruning for the fruiting for next year. What parts of the plant they cut, I'm not real familiar, and then they make sure they get them fertilized because they're a pretty decent feeder there on those. Also, that it's. That you got a proper fertilization for them for production for the following year. For the homeowner, our biggest concern is getting the soil pH low enough, and that's probably why you don't find blueberry farms necessarily all over the place is because of that particular necessity for an ultra low pH. I don't know if you've ever picked blueberries up north. I remember as a kid. We'd camp at this one campground in New Jersey, and on the far side of the lake, there were I guess they were wild blueberries, and you'd actually have to get there with the rowboat and slide up in between there. So the ground was very highly acidic. It was like tannin water, if you remember the cedar water, tannin water. So that soil was very, we would just pick buckets full. Just slide the John boat up in between the rowboat up in between the shrubs and just pick blueberries.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and I think there's a blueberry pie in my future.
Sounds like it.
Okay, bye now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Can I read what I found?
Sure.
All right, Yancey's Blueberry Farm in Silver Spring. Did you know about that one?
I did know that one. I think that's where I went picking that one time.
Oh, did you? Let me read what somebody reviewed. Gave it 5 stars. Okay. And this is what this person wrote. GPS has trouble finding it, but I was only a block away. Once I got there, the people were friendly, the picking was easy, the prices were great, and they were the best tasting blueberries I've ever had. So ignore the idiot that gave a 1-star review because he got lost and couldn't find the place. That's his fault.
I love it. I love it.
That's pretty cool. It looks like it's out in the forest somewhere.
Yes, it is. And there are a few of them out there, and
not too far out there.
No, it's not real far. It's just, I mean, no, I think I grabbed the wrong one. I mean, I got the fresh from Florida, but I got a different.
You didn't get Yancey's?
No, I want to do. You pick blueberries.
Okay. There's Aunt Zelma's on US 301 also.
You pick blueberries.
Blueberry Downs, Wet Hammock.
And the timber, what's it called? Timber.
There's a bunch of them on here.
Yeah.
Just Google it. Just Google it.
Yeah, just Google. I mean, some of these are.
You pick blueberries near me is what I put in there.
Oh, okay.
And it showed up.
That's what I should have probably done, not just Florida.
Ah, yeah. You try it again. See if you can find it. You picked blueberries near me, and I used the letter U. I don't know if that makes a difference or not.
I don't think so. Here we go. Near me, and we will.
Yeah, it showed a bunch of them. And the first one.
Yeah, there's Abshire. Yeah, Wagon Farm in Ocala, Inverness, Florida Best Blueberry Farm. More places. So there's quite a few of them. Yancey's, Wakachuta.
And I believe Hugh lives in the Silver Springs area. That's why I thought that was a good one for him.
Florida Best is in Inverness. Aunt Zelma's in.
So how hard would it be to grow your own?
The issue is the requirement for a very low pH. So if I was going to grow my own, first you start out and check your soil pH. If your ground is not naturally low, you're going to have to amend that. And usually, actually, there's some places that sell bulk soils, and they sell a blueberry mix.
Oh, really?
And I believe it's like 80% of fine ground pine bark. And then the 20% is a compost soil kind of thing. Okay. And you would actually excavate out your native soil, backfill with most of this, and then actually do a mound up so that your blueberries only planted halfway underground and the other half is on top, and then you mound up that soil, that imported soil with the mix up around there, and then annually you can add more as some of that washes away, and then using products, blueberry fertilizers. And you as a homeowner aren't going to go out and find a blueberry fertilizer. It's just too specialized. So you're sort of just using one that might be for other fruits or vegetables, and then doing something to lower that pH on an annual basis.
Ah, okay.
So either, there are pH reducers in order to get that acidity down there to that 4.5 to 5. Most things in our landscape prefer that 6.5, 6.5 kind of thing, which is 7 is neutral, slightly acidic would be a 6.5.
And this is maybe dumb question, but
we like those
coming from me. Is the blueberry itself the seed of the plant?
No, there's seed inside the blueberries.
There's a seed in the blueberry.
There are little fine seeds in there. Okay. Yeah. Because if you ever eat a whole bunch of them, you start, you get a little one stuck in your tooth here or there.
So you could literally plant some blueberries and grow blueberries.
I guess, but again, they're hybrids.
Oh,
so what's
so
going to come
issue.
true to, what would be coming true, they don't come true to seed.
Wow, makes things so difficult.
That's why usually, they can do it with their plants with cuttings and things like that is how they, start fresh ones.
So natural blueberries don't occur in nature?
Oh, yeah, they do.
Oh, they do?
Yeah. It's just we've done the hybridization to improve upon them, to improve upon their marketability, to improve upon their
taste better?
The quality, right, the quality of the berry, the size of the berry.
Now, how do you grow the shortcake that goes with it?
Usually at Publix. They grow a nice one there.
They grow nice
packages of 6.
And that Ready Whip, how do you grow that?
That Ready Whip, that comes right out of that frozen. I like the Cool Whip one right out of the freezer case. I have a container in my freezer right now, waiting for some more fruit to be had.
Just waiting for somebody to come grab it.
To tell me it's time to eat some more berries with whipped cream and not with my yogurt and make my smoothies. So that's the best way.
Do you have something to give away?
I do have.
We're not doing it right now. But
no, we won't do it right now. But we can talk about it now. That we've got. What do we say? 7, 4, 5, 6. It looks like seven. No, it might be 8.
Wow.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tickets to Magical Night at the Appleton Museum of Art. It's this Saturday from 6 to 9 p.m. And it's a family event. It says pretty much that it's aimed towards children 4 and up. So, come in, with your, a good excuse to grab your grandchildren
Sounds
or
like a
something like that.
fun event, yeah.
And go over to the Appleton, maybe make it, make it a parents' nights out, that you'd grab your grandkids, head over to the Appleton. Because it's saying, join us for the Magical Night at the Museum, a special event for families. Embark on an enchanting adventure around the Appleton that includes unicorn carriage rides, artwork that will come to life, a magic show, mermaids, and more. Make your way to the art space to create a magic wand or orb. Orb, I guess. Light refreshments will be served in the cafe. Children are encouraged to attend in costume, and the event is appropriate for ages 4 and up. The tickets here, the family package, I guess for us today's, for non-members, it's $15 for all ages or $50 for a family pack, but we have 8 tickets.
Wow.
So we could do 2 4-packs or...
So don't call right now to ask for them.
No, we'll do this at the bottom of the hour when we go to the news break.
And I think the first come, first serve. So if you need all 8, just say I need all 8, and you get all of them.
Right. If you need 4 of them, just make sure it's for this Saturday. The time is from 6 to 9 p.m. So not a real late one, but if you're, like I said, if you're grabbing the grandchildren
like
and going,
it
gives their parents maybe an evening out for dinner for themselves. You got the kids or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. One of those kind of things. Or take the kids and let the grandparents have a weekend.
Do you know, I saw something cool. It's sort of kind of not related, but related to what you do. I saw this YouTube video about this guy who makes like train sets, like the scenery that a train. And he has this device that creates like static electricity. And it spreads out grass, and you drop it, you kind of spread it out on the glue. And because of the static electricity, they'll all stand on end, so it looks like the grass is standing up.
Oh.
Isn't that amazing?
That's interesting. That's
so
strange.
Yeah. They're all standing up just like real grass would stand up.
Huh.
Yeah.
Strange.
So it's kind of like planting fake grass.
Right, yeah. Okay. Well, you could just plant some real grass and add it in. Except
that'd be too long. That'd be too long.
Well, snip, 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 snip.
It's got to be really
mow the grass with the clippers. But several years ago there was the trend of having scale railroads in the landscape. That was pretty cool. I mean, some of them were people-sized. I mean, that you would sit on
Ride
it.
them.
That adult. That
like
you could
at the drive-in movie theater.
right, kind of thing. Or just the smaller scale ones, and I guess they were ones that were able to be out in the weather. Kind of thing. I don't know, maybe they might not have been designed too much for Florida's weather, but other areas where you might only leave it out part of the year, snowy conditions, you're going to have it, up in the house. But then they were designing the landscapes around these, making like miniature landscapes, more like a bonsai landscape, a whole landscape of bonsai, because what is bonsai but just plants that have been trained to be very small? There's still trees and shrubs. They've just been root pruned.
That is amazing
like
to me that can be done.
Yeah. And then there's some others, and I guess you would moreover call them topiaried, where you can do these at a larger scale. A lot of junipers are done, or some smaller shrubs, where it's taking selective branches and leaving them and pom-pomming out, or just leaving the top of them, making a standard and things like that, which can be really interesting. And you could do it if you want the Asian garden look in your own landscape, because that's a lot of that. It's kind of artsy in the whole design. So it's different things you can do.
If you carved your name in a tree when you were a teenager,
right,
would it still be there? As long as the tree was still there, or would it have grown over?
It might have actually grown over, healed over on it. Depends on how Yeah, I would think it would actually probably heal over or have left a scar if you took a lot of the bark off.
So that would be your scar.
It would be a scar on the... Yeah,
what's going on with that picture you posted? It looks like a butt, a human butt.
What was the one? I forget the...
Remember that one you posted like a couple weeks ago?
The tree.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, it was the big butt tree.
Yeah.
I just thought it
what
was
happens
cool.
to it? I mean, why did that grow like that?
Let me see. Let me look it up again.
It's just the way a tree grew?
Yeah. And it is. It's just the way it did its thing. And come on. Why is the Wi-Fi slow?
By the way, while Carol Ann's doing that, if you don't already know, Carol Ann has created a Facebook page, or a Facebook group, I should say, to go with this show. It's simply called In the Garden, and make sure you pick this one, not the one down in, where was the other one, Sanibel Island?
Sanibel, right.
Yeah, make sure you pick this one.
Yeah, this tree here, it actually looks like it was two trees. It might be what we would consider a gall, that it caused that enlargement on the trunk, or it was a knot where a limb had been pruned off or something, but I believe that's actually two trees right side by side. And just, sometimes weird, freaky things happen. You'll find a tree that actually goes around another one, and it was probably when it was small and pliable, it got caught. And then just as it got larger, and sometimes, the other tree that it went around dies, and so you got a tree with a little spiral or a hook to it.
Right.
It's just kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And if anybody had seen my little certificate, thank you, Robin, for posting. You posted it
yeah,
on the page.
That is so cool.
That was it took some doing, and
Lifetime Achievement Award from President Trump.
It was 4,000 hours of community service through the Marion County Master Gardeners.
Wow, that's awesome. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah. It took a while to earn that. I mean, it does. That's a lot of hours when you think about it.
That is. So that's good for you. I mean,
and I think that actually that these awards began back, I want to say, with the first President Bush, the 1,000 points of light kind of thing.
It says, can I read it? With grateful recognition, the Corporation for National and Community Service and the Office of the President of the United States honors Carol Ann Baldwin with the President's Lifetime Achievement Award for their lifelong commitment to building a stronger nation through volunteer service. Signed, President Donald Trump. Yep. What a signature, huh?
Yeah, that's kind of a...
I couldn't have told you that was his signature.
No, I'm sure there's something to be said about that kind of signature, but...
All right, we're at the bottom.
So, bottom of the hour, we have the tickets for Magical Night. We have 8 of them. If you need 4, tell us you need 4. If you only need 2, tell us you need 2. But it is first come, first serve. When they're gone, they're gone. And
we have about a 4-minute break, so if you are... if you let the phone ring, we'll try to answer as many as we can. If we do not answer the phone, that means you did not win, okay? Deal?
Right. Deal.
622-9622 is the number we're asking you to call. 622-WOCA. We will be right back with Carol Ann after this.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. 2 French billionaires have pledged to help pay for reconstruction at Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. The fire there is out.
The skyline here is changed today. While the cathedral's overall stone structure is still standing, it has no roof, and its 300-foot-tall spire is gone. The fire has now been declared fully extinguished some 15 hours after the alarm was raised, after firefighters worked through the night. There have been no reports of deaths.
Fox's Simon Owen. A warning about wildfire risk in California.
A new report says more than 2.5 million Californians live in areas described as a very high hazard for wildfires. Nearly 180 cities and towns are in those areas. California's governor, Democrat Gavin Newsom, suggested last week that local governments de-emphasize building in areas around forests, but now says that was meant to start a conversation about how to build smarter.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. This is Fox News.
Napa know-how. This month at Napa, you can get a garden hose reel for just $24.99 when you spend $50 on, well, anything. Oil, brakes, Little Tree air fresheners, car wax, car soap, oil filters. As long as it's $50, you can get a self-retracting garden hose reel for $24.99. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. Napa know-how. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Offer ends 4/30/19.
I'm John Simmons, Manager of Agriculture for Tabasco brand pepper sauce. My family's made Tabasco sauce for 150 years. What am I working for? I'm working to stay true to our family recipe.
At ADP, we're designing a better way to work so you can achieve what you're working for. HR, talent, time, benefits, and payroll. Informed by data and designed for people. Learn more at design.adp.com. ADP, always designing for people.
Here is your 1-minute news brief. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is encouraging state universities to approve resolutions that protect free speech on campuses, similar to a policy at the University of Chicago. The main booster core of the Falcon Heavy rocket that lifted off from Kennedy Space Center several days ago fell off the drone ship that was carrying it back and was lost at sea. Eustis residents are campaigning against the noise being made by a medical marijuana processing plant along County Road 44A. Activists gathered in the Florida Capitol yesterday to press the legislature to pass a state tax rebate that could benefit more than 5 million working-class Floridians. A series of small earthquakes hit South Alabama within hours of each other near the Florida state line. No damages were reported. And Weeki Wachee Springs is hiring mermaids. The job pays $12 an hour. You must be at least 18 years old, able to swim 400 yards, hold your breath a long time, and be female. Auditions are on Friday at 5 p.m. And that is your news brief from The Source.
Tuesday will be a nice day with lots of sunshine. The afternoon high between 78 at the coast and 85 inland. Mainly clear Tuesday night, lows in the upper 50s in the coolest inland spots, mid-60s along the coast. For Wednesday, mostly sunny and warm with a high of 80 on the coast, 85 inland. For Thursday, partly sunny and warm. There may be a shower or thunderstorm in spots, mainly during the afternoon hours over the interior. High 85 on the coast, 91 inland. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Folks, there are more great deals than you can imagine this week at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala as they continue their Super Spring Discount Days. Try some of these super specials. Frostproof or Daisy gardenias, always a favorite, regularly $24.99. Bob has them as low as $9.99. Looking for butterfly or hummingbird plants? Bob Wines has them, and they're just $8.99. Another of Ocala's favorites, Confederate Jasmine. Yes, it's priced super low at $5.99 and lots more. Geraniums, down to 99 cents each, and a bunch of Gerber daisies priced to sell at just $2.99. And of course, roses, your favorite knockouts or drift roses. Bob has a special selection marked down to $9.99. Spring veggies, still just $3.49 in the jumbo 4-pack. Check us out, BobWinesCameliaGardens.net. Then head on over, daily till 4:30, Saturdays till 3, in the same blooming place since 1952.
All right, thank you. Let's see, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. Let's do a quick weather thing here. I should have been prepared, Caroline. 62 degrees right now. It looks like it's just going to be a beautiful day, right?
Yeah.
Well, there you are.
And of course, I lost my page too. I set down my almanac and it folded itself up. Don't do that to me. Because then I can never find anything in it. I was just looking. I had the curiosity today to go, okay, how's our weather looking as compared to what the Farmer's Almanac has said? Every so often we look at this because it's April now, and we were for April it was supposed to be the average temperature 71. Which it didn't say if it was below or above. Precipitation 1.5 inches, which is 1 inch below average. And this week, because this is running from the 14th through the 22nd, which I think we did start out with thunderstorms, which that's what they said, then sunny and cool. That one they got right, and of course the following week will be scattered thunderstorms and warm.
Isn't that amazing how they can be so accurate?
But now the first part of the month, which was actually quite warm, last week was just says scattered thunderstorms and warm was last week. Okay. It was actually unseasonably warm there for a few days when it was hitting the 90s.
But they said it would be warm, huh?
They did.
Wow.
And so but the average, and of course the average, we have a big state, so the average only down to 71 when you're taking all the way from the Keys to the Panhandle,
Yeah.
and I mean they've actually had some quite chilly weather. And for us here yesterday morning and today in the morning, I had to get my jacket back out. I went over to Crystal River yesterday morning, and I went, "Ooh, it's a little cold. I hope that once that sun gets over the top of the trees." But it did make it a nice day for the work I had to get done, so it wasn't super hot. It was trying.
Are there any laws that prevent you from bringing seed from other countries?
Yes, there are.
There are.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, you're not supposed to just. I mean, a lot of times you can buy from overseas companies, and they have the agricultural inspections, because certain things we don't want to bring over here because it can start a problem with an imported exotic, or possibly a plant that may be. Well, plants usually, I mean, seed doesn't usually come with a disease problem, but plant material could, or soils and things like that if you were sending plants over. But seeds, yeah, it's all regulated.
So if you ate an apple in England, you kept the seeds.
You're not supposed to.
You might be stopped at the.
Yeah, coming across. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to get that apple through customs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow, really?
You'd have to eat that apple before you got off the plane and get rid of the
core.
Yeah. Get rid of all the residue. Yeah. Otherwise, you must declare it, and then they're going to tell you, no, you can't do that. Not allowed.
And you have a phone call.
Great.
Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Yeah, hi guys, it's Hugh again. See, I drove by the pick your own blueberry sign and a phone number, and I gave him a quick call. And the place is the one that's closest to me is up in Anthony, which is north of where I live in Silver Springs. But anyways, they're asking. They provide you with the buckets and everything else. It's $4 a pound if you pick it, and if they pick it, they'll sell them to you for $6 a pound.
Okay.
Now I don't know if that's a better price than at the store. It probably is a better price than at the store, right?
More than likely, yeah, because you think about the little pint containers or whatever, and just how fresh. You know, you get a nice little bucket full of them and take them home, and like you said, blueberry pie, we were saying blueberry muffins, all kinds of stuff that you can freeze them, and that they do freeze easily. They freeze so readily. It's one of those. It's like, why not? You know, if you take advantage of the U-Pick, then the local produce. It's clean. You know it's that kind of thing that when you're putting it away, you're good to go.
Do you think there's a pound of blueberries in a pie?
I don't know how many cups would be. Well, maybe not a pound. Could be though, because you do cook them down with your cornstarch and a little bit of sugar and stuff like that to make a nice, to make your filling. So it's possible. I don't know. I'd have to look up a recipe and see.
Yeah. Well, anyways, they're charging $4 a pound. Now, I don't know if that's a standard price everywhere here, or if there's some places that are less than that, or what. But
it's probably pretty close to what the standard would be. I wouldn't figure anybody would be super undercutting. Just to sell theirs first, kind of thing, or charging way higher because they think that they have superior berries.
Yeah, I got to kick the lady. The lady says, "Well, if you don't want to pick them yourself, we'll sell them to you for $6 a pound." So
there you go. Yeah. Well, and that's it, because they've gone through and because they know where they're because they have different varieties on these farms in order to extend the picking season, and which bushes have been picked off of. So when they aim you to a certain section, you go ahead and pick that. You don't want to back over to the other one because it's probably got fruit that's not ripe yet or not much. And they don't want you to skip over to another area, because then you sort of mess up the way that they can harvest the most efficiently.
Yeah, right. Well, anyways, it's 8 o'clock to dark for about 6 weeks or until they last. So
right,
and it's blueberry time.
Right, and I would suggest going early in the morning, only because it does heat up. And you're out in the sun. Wear your hat, wear your sunscreen. Maybe some mosquito repellent. I would probably suggest make sure you got closed-toed shoes and socks. Kind of thing, just so that you're walking on out in a farm. It's not a paved pathway.
If I go alone now, how long do you think would it take me to, let's say, pick two pounds of berries?
Oh, it shouldn't take
About an hour?
it should maybe that long. I don't think
Maybe
it would be. I don't even know if it would take you that long to pick 2 pounds.
When you're picking a berry, what do you pick, a bunch of them at a time, or
Yeah,
just pick one at a time?
No, you kind of put your hands into the bush, and you see a group of blueberries, and just kind of, but for a lack of a better way, I mean, my words, is sort of like tickle them and see which ones drop in your hands. Kind of cup your hands under the branch and run your fingers down, and the ripe berries are going to drop off into your hands, and then just put them into your bucket. So, yeah, you're not picking one by one. You're getting, at least probably 10, 12, 14 at a time at least, while you're picking.
Well, I bet you I'm going to come home with a blueberry hand.
I'm sure. I'm sure. And a little telltale sign on the edge of the lip, too, I bet you.
Right, so my wife knows I wasn't going around horsing around. I was out picking blueberries.
Out picking blueberries, yep.
Okay, I'll keep in touch with you. I'm going to go this weekend and give it a shot, and I'll let you know how it turned out.
Fantastic.
Okay, bye now.
Yep, bye-bye.
All right, phone lines are open. If you want to call in, the number is 622-9622, and it's kind of a food show today. We got a lot of food chatter, right?
That's okay. Well, gardening and food go hand in hand.
They do.
I do grow more edibles than I grow just plain flowers. I mean, I got some nice plants on the deck and that, but I do like my veggies, which my tomatoes are blooming. I think I had quite a few buds on my peppers. Which I'm trying a different bell pepper this year. It's called a Cajun Bell. And it's supposed to be like a regular bell pepper, but has a little bit of a bite to it. And I thought, that just sounds so good to, either to eat raw, with a little dip, or make a stuffed pepper with it. And then I also got one, it was the red, they call it lunchbox.
Uh-huh.
Those are those little, you find the little bags of the smaller peppers. They'll have the little reds, yellows, and green in there for like snacking. And I said, "Ooh, those just, I want to grow some of those, because I think you could even stuff those and almost do them as an hors d'oeuvre, or an easy stuff where you do a lot of, not necessarily a popper, but a smaller than a regular bell pepper, stuffed bell pepper."
Did you post the way to tell the difference between a male and female pepper?
I've seen that, and it's like, I believe it's bologna.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The bottom thing, they had 4.
One having 3 and one having 4.
What is that?
The only way you're going to tell, I don't even know if you can tell.
I just Googled it again.
If it's actually true, because, they both have seed in them. So I'm not sure.
Okay, so that would be crazy.
Yeah, that usually you think of something, if it was the male fruit, it would have fewer seed.
All right, here's the one thing. It says male peppers have 3 bumps, female peppers have 4 bumps. Male peppers have less seeds and are better to cook with. Female peppers are best for eating raw.
And see, I usually buy the ones with the 4 bumps because they stand up better in the baking dish.
You're right.
They're more level in the baking dish with the 4 bump, because it's got 4 legs, not 3.
That's funny.
So,
ready for the next call?
Sure.
Good morning, you're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My daughter told me about being able to take romaine lettuce stalks when you buy the hearts, and putting them in water. You cut the heads off,
right?
Put them in water, and they will root.
Yes.
And I have 2 tortoises. That this is an answer to my problem.
Oh, yeah. That's most definitely.
Well, and I thought this would be a wonderful little project for the children during the summer.
Sure.
And they grow fast. Within 3 days, I already had the beginning of big leaves.
Great. Yeah, and it is kind of a neat, they call them, what do they call those, like garbage gardens? Because you can take like the carrot top and, grow the top off the carrot, but now the carrot's not going to regrow another carrot. but it will in 2 years it would go to flower, and you would grow carrot seeds. But like your celery, you can cut the bottom off the stalk of celery and put it in some soil or in some water, get some roots started, plant it in soil, and it'll start to shoot up new celery leaf. I'm not sure if it'll make a new stalk, but it does shoot up at least leaves.
Wow! Now you take the bottom of it or the top?
Yes, the bottom of it. Just like your lettuce, you take that off and then just put that either soil or water. Water just can get messy. I would probably more put it in soil, put it in a bright window, and let it start over again.
Wow!
And just for fun, just like we've grown sweet potato. You grow sweet potato vine as a little science project with the kids, and then actually with those you can actually put the sweet potato slips in the ground and grow sweet potatoes.
Wow! Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my little toadies are going to eat well.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye now. And to answer, I just looked up a blueberry pie recipe. It calls for 5 cups of fresh blueberries divided. So you're starting divided. You're going to start with 3 cups of your blueberries to make your stewed blueberries, and then I think you're adding more, the remaining, and then pour that in so that you've got full-size blueberries, and then you have to cook down the stewed down ones to make that. Yeah.
Oh, so the gooey stuff.
Yeah, the 5 cups. That's a lot of blueberries. So yeah, we're talking. We're gonna say that's probably a couple pounds.
I don't know.
I would think. Well, a cup. Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably a couple pounds of blueberries. Yeah. So he might. Hugh, take your measuring cup with you, so as you're picking, you can actually see how many. What a cup looks like in there, and that way you're judging and going, do I need how many pounds? Or maybe even ask them. They may be able to tell you.
But this is how I look at everything. That do it once, and then the next time you'll change whatever it is you did.
Right.
Or not. I mean, if you get it perfect the first time, then I guess you'll just keep doing it that way.
That's right.
Almost everything I do that way. I'll do it one time and say, oh, gosh, this is what I should have done differently.
This is the wrong, that was not the right way, or here, I want to add more of this or less of that kind of thing. You
know one thing I did the first time terribly? The very first time I ever made French toast.
Oh, really?
I thought you just soak it in that egg.
Oh,
it's horrible.
Not just dunk and dunk. Yeah,
you got to be quick, in and out.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, it's just sort of swoosh it in, and onto the griddle.
Or putting a lid on the spaghetti. That's a bad mistake too.
Yeah. Kind of gets Or I think my dad used to do the one of using too small of a pot to cook spaghetti.
Oh, okay.
Where it didn't have enough water. Have enough. Yeah, I think he made paste, is what my brother referred to it as.
Yeah. And egg noodles would become paste quicker than regular pasta.
Yeah. So always use see what they recommend and go for that. I do have one other thing as we're getting here into the middle. We're in the middle of April now. That May 11th, that is a Saturday, and it should be the second Saturday in May, is the Marion County Master Gardeners Spring Plant Sale. This isn't the one with all the vendors. This is the one where the Master Gardeners have grown plants in our propagation area for sale. And the proceeds of this helps, one, to buy more plants to do, but also helps to for programs that are put on at the library and things like that, fuel for to be able to move Petunia, the question and answer booth, around to the different locations in the county.
Oh, that's the name of the booth, Petunia?
Yeah, that's Petunia, yes, our trailer. But we'll have fruit trees, ornamental trees, shade trees, shrubs, native plants, herbs and perennials, pollinator plants, hummingbird plants, butterfly plants, all kinds of stuff. Rain barrels, because you can't find rain barrels generally in retail markets too much. You can't go to Lowe's or Home Depot usually and grab a rain barrel. You might be able to order one online, but
Are we talking about the big 50-gallon barrel?
A big 50-gallon barrel, but it's set up with the screening and a tap on the bottom of it.
Do you know where I used to see them?
Used to get them on 484.
Correct.
Yeah, by the honey.
I think that's what. I think that guy sold them or something.
But he sold just the barrel. Then you've got to get your other stuff to finish making it.
Yeah.
We'll also have the Melaleuca mulch, which the Melaleuca mulch is naturally insect resistant, which is a good thing, and is one of those kind of resources that we're trying to kill off. Because the Melaleuca was planted in the Everglades in order to dry up the Everglades, and which we later learned was not a good thing to do. It's not a good thing to do. There'll also be master gardeners available for consultation on making correct selections for your area, and our mobile plant clinic. So if you've got a bad leaf on a plant, or you've got a question about a plant, you can come in and ask over there, and there'll probably be the publications available. Soil test kits will be available to check that pH. That's what we do locally, is the pH only, and that can let you know, do you need to lime, or do you need to use sulfur or something to lower that pH. That's usually if, say, your turf isn't doing well across the board. Maybe you've got the wrong grass, or maybe it's time to go, guess what, you don't need that much turf, plant another flower bed. Because we can amend the soil in flower beds pretty easily. And for vegetable gardens also. It is free admission because we want you to spend your money on plants. No pets, please. The little dogs with cute little bought online vests that say service animals are not service animals. They are pets. Someone will get hurt, and possibly your own pet, and we don't want that. And if you're carrying the dog in your hands, you don't have enough room to shop for plants. So
that's right.
Let the doggy stay home for the morning and come on out. It's Saturday from 8 to noon. Saturday, May 11th from 8 to noon at the Marion County Extension grounds. Back at the propagation area. Payment is cash or check only. We do not take debit or credit cards. So mark your calendar.
Very good.
And come on out.
Let's see, about 7 minutes left in the show. If you'd like to call in, there's plenty of time for Carolyn to talk to you, get your question answered. And don't forget, you can always post a photo on Carolyn's Facebook grouping page called In the Garden. In fact, I'm going to go there right now. I haven't been there in a while.
I just went back to it on here. I try to share some of the things that are coming from the Master Gardeners Facebook page, too. I mean, the more information that can be taken and disseminated out there. And actually, Kathy Snyder just posted, beyond thrilled to see this pineapple pop up in my garden. Now, if I can be patient for a year and a half. Well,
it's how long it takes?
I mean, that one should take. I mean, that's got a pineapple there started on it, so she should be good to go. I too have a pineapple plant. I'll have to take or post my pictures of the garden that I did using the smart pots, because I think it's the same kind of pots that I did with my apple tree. And which that I did post pictures of, and if you scroll down there, you can see a little bit of it. But I have to get some pictures because the beans are up, the squash is up, the cucumbers.
On here, where I am right here?
Yeah, on mine. Also, I have on here is the pictures of the.
Am I too far?
Down past the tree with the butt tree.
The butt tree. Oh, past the butt tree.
Just
there's the butt tree.
Just older than the butt tree has my apple tree, and actually it was only 20 inches, not 22 inches.
Oh, okay.
But those are the smart pots. They're a fabric pot, and I like them. I mean, they make a great raised bed. There's different sizes. They can, and I have it sitting on some landscape fabric to try to keep weeds or anything else from growing across in there.
My apple tree still it's got lots of stuff going on the bottom, and it's got a few things going on top, and everything in between
is kind of naked.
Yeah.
Well, mine's got.
But it looks like it's got little buds that want to do something, but they're not doing anything yet.
It could be some leaves. I mean, have you fertilized it yet?
Yes.
Okay.
I used that Miracle-Gro.
Miracle-Gro? Okay. Yeah. And on something like that, because it's in a pot, you might need to do that like once a month.
Oh, really?
So,
okay.
Yeah.
And I'm depending on Mother Nature to water
it now.
And
that's okay. That's okay. But again, you might need to, if we're not getting rain, you might need to water it maybe once a week, just because it is potted. And you don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to stress it out too bad.
All right.
See, the smart pots here, I can water almost every day. I think I'm watering about every third day. Because they hold so much soil, they're not drying out real bad down into the middle of them, but they do dry nicely as if you were actually in the ground. It's holding enough water, but allowing enough drainage to occur because the whole side of the container can actually drain. So I will get some pictures of the green beans and things like that growing in the garden and get them on the page.
So your group has 62 members.
62, yay!
You need to get a 63rd before the show's over.
Before
we need somebody else to sign up.
Sign up, ask to become a member.
What do you do again? You just go there
and ask to be a member.
Go to In the Garden, and it's a closed group.
So, I have 62, and I haven't seen any newbies wanting, asking to be on, so...
So what are you doing for the Easter weekend?
I have to work, so
really?
Probably not much.
You have to work on the day of chocolate?
On Easter, yeah, I know. I have to get myself another chocolate bunny because I ate the one.
Do you like the white bunnies?
I do, but I prefer dark chocolate. So it's trying to find a dark chocolate. Everybody makes milk chocolate.
Right.
And even the white chocolate, and that is not that easy to find, but it's like only Dove makes a dark chocolate
bunny. That is
bunny.
good chocolate.
It is a good chocolate.
Do you do the hard-boiled egg thing?
Yeah, I'll color eggs. Yeah, I would, just for fun, and I'll probably make deviled eggs out of them or something like that, or egg salad once they're done. Always
And do you have any plants? For Easter? Besides the lily?
The Easter lily is the one most people are familiar with. You can also find tulips in the stores now, and hyacinth is something else that's sold a lot for Easter, as well as hydrangea. The tulips are not going to do anything after this year, so enjoy them and realize, that they were pretty, that you had them on the table. They got pretty paper on the pots, unless you have a dedicated fridge. And I think there's probably more gardeners, especially here in Central Florida, or that will, you can get just a small, office fridge. Mm-hmm. And have that for your seeds, have that for, bulbs that might require that chill time that we just don't get in the landscape. So that's about your only way to get those to keep going.
I remember going to Sunday school when I was a kid, and the teacher says, "Here, take this home. Your mommy's going to like this." And I brought home a flower. It was a tulip.
Okay.
And then and my brother also had a flower, and my other brother, and my other brother. I said, "Hey, I thought I was the only one that brought home."
Right. But because you were in Sunday school, everybody
and then we planted them outside by the septic tank.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Well, and of course, and if that was up in New York, they probably came back every year, and were.
I honestly don't remember.
Yeah,
I think they did. I seem to remember.
They should. Yeah, they should have just readily, just on their own, done their own thing.
It was when you're of age to use the lawnmower, you have to stay away.
Yeah, that was that was my start into gardening, was to how do I keep my father away from.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling us this story. All right, well, thank you. Have a great weekend, a good Easter, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
We'll be here next Tuesday. Yep, sure will.
All right, if you would like those gift certificates Carol Ann offered earlier, we only gave 2 of them away, so that means we have 6 left. If you want the night at the magical night at the Appleton Museum, just call right now, 622-9622. We'll pick somebody at random. You can ask for as many as you want, up to 6. We'll be right back. This is The Source, WOCA Ocala.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Firefighters work to save Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. There's a lot of damage.
This iconic church losing its spire and its roof, the fire declared fully extinguished after around 15 hours. President Emmanuel Macron pledging a rebuilding effort to wealthy French families have already offered $320 million.
Fox's Simon Owen. The father of a 12-year-old girl whose mother was killed in action in Afghanistan is allowed back in Arizona.
Jose Gonzalez Carranza came to the U.S. illegally in 2004 and was deported last week. After his wife's death, Carranza was awarded a parole in place, which meant he could stay in the U.S. without fear of deportation. ICE refiled the case last year, and he was ordered deported after he missed a court hearing. His lawyer says ICE sent the notice to the wrong address.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers, no word why the deportation order has been reversed. This is Fox News.
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need.
Yeah, you've been acting so conspicuous. You flip it on me, say I think so much. You're moving different when we making love.
Alexa, play Who Do You Love? Okay.
Get unlimited access to over 50 million songs. Download the Amazon Music app today.
What are you working for? It's about more than what you do. It's about achieving something greater for yourself and for others. So ADP is enabling people to work better and embrace new challenges, to work anywhere and everywhere, and helping everyone reach their full potential. At ADP, we're designing a better way to work so you can achieve what you're working for. HR, talent, time, benefits, and payroll. Informed by data and designed for people. Learn more at design.adp.com.
Here is your 1-minute news brief. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is encouraging state universities to approve resolutions that protect free speech on campuses, similar to a policy at the University of Chicago. The main booster core of the Falcon Heavy rocket that lifted off from Kennedy Space Center several days ago fell off the drone ship that was carrying it back and was lost at sea. Eustis residents are campaigning against the noise being made by a medical marijuana processing plant along County Road 44A. Activists gathered in the Florida Capitol yesterday to press the legislature to pass a state tax rebate that could benefit more than 5 million working-class Floridians. A series of small earthquakes hit South Alabama within hours of each other near the Florida state line. No damages were reported. And Weeki Wachee Springs is hiring mermaids. The job pays $12 an hour. You must be at least 18 years old, able to swim 400 yards, hold your breath a long time, and be female. Auditions are on Friday at 5 p.m. And that is your news brief from The Source.
Tuesday will be a nice day with lots of sunshine. The afternoon high between 78 at the coast and 85 inland. Mainly clear Tuesday night, lows in the upper 50s in the coolest inland spots, mid-60s along the coast. For Wednesday, mostly sunny and warm with a high of 80 on the coast, 85 inland. For Thursday, partly sunny and warm. There may be a shower or thunderstorm in spots, mainly during the afternoon hours over the interior. High 85 on the coast, 91 inland. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Folks, there are more great deals than you can imagine this week at Baldwin's Camellia Gardens in Ocala as they continue their Super Spring Discount Days. Try some of these super specials. Frostproof or Daisy Gardenias, always a favorite, regularly $24.99. Bob has them as low as $9.99. Looking for butterfly or hummingbird plants? Bob Wines has them, and they're just $8.99. Another of Ocala's favorites, Confederate Jasmine. Yes, it's priced super low at $5.99 and lots more. Geraniums, down to 99 cents each, and a bunch of Gerber daisies priced to sell at just $2.99. And of course, roses, your favorite knockouts or drift roses. Bob has a special selection marked down to $9.99. Spring veggies, still just $3.49 in the jumbo 4-pack. Check us out, BobWinesCameliaGardens.net. Then head on over, daily till 4:30, Saturdays till 3, in the same blooming place since 1952.
Favo presents Symphony Under the Stars May 12th at the Ocala Golf Club, East Silver Springs Boulevard. Gates open at 4 p.m. Concert starts at 7. Advanced VIP tickets available online only. Regular adult tickets $20, $25 at the gate. Children's